What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Cominturismo World. So last time we were here, we left off building this ride here, the Horrors of Capitalism, and it's so loud. But anyway, so we still have about 6 floors, it looks like, left to design. This is gonna be a nightmare. I'm gonna have to cut a lot of corners here. But then again, it is capitalism, cutting corners. I don't know what I'm trying to say by that. Anyway, there's a lot still to attend to. I want to actually make like a little enclosure for this ride, and then this one's still just kind of a bit plopped here with a really bad queue. And then the train just kind of does that, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And we also have a monorail down here somewhere. It's oh my gosh, it's hard to get to. It's really not easy to get to. There it is. Yeah, so this thing just goes all the way around the entire park, but it doesn't actually have any stops. So eventually we should address that, but at the moment there's not really any place for it to stop, so I don't really know if there's a whole lot of purpose to have it stop anywhere. You could have it stop in here by oh my gosh, I'm lost. There we are. By this tiny little carousel in a hole. It just kind of exists in here. Does anybody even ride this thing? 357 lifetime guests. Let's see, the closest ride to it, since it's right there, is Mount Cominturismo, which has had 1,000 lifetime guests. Okay, it's done a little better. Gee, that thing's got the Dream is at 5,000 almost. How about the bumper cars? 5,000. Ferris wheel, 7,000. Go-karts, 2,000. This thing, 0. I mean, we did just place. It's also closed. Probably open that. But the Slav tours, how's that been doing? Let's see if I can actually click it. 6,600. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch into a time lapse today, just so that I can try and maybe get all this done in one episode. I don't know about that. I'm gonna have to cut a lot of corners, but we've already established that. So, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get to work. Okay, so this build was very detailed. There's a lot of complexity to it. I ended up taking it a bit more seriously than I probably should have, but at the same time, it's also kind of a mess that wasn't really totally thought through. Anyway, the first thing I decided to do was figure out what order it was in again, because I forgot since last time. So I put up all these little signs here, 1, 2, 3, there was a 4, and yeah, then I just started kind of putting this down together. So the first room that I started to assemble here was kind of I was trying to be like a stock market, kind of, because I'm trying to think of things, the ride's called the Horrors of Capitalism, so I'm trying to think of things that are, stereotypically capitalist. So I don't think you're going to have a stock market in the Soviet Union, so I figured this would be something that would be a horror, potentially. So I'm putting up a clock. There's going to be a lot of people standing around at the desks. There's paper flying around. It's supposed to look a little chaotic. That big screen on the front wall that they're all facing is it's a video screen. So I'm going to have a stock footage kind of video thing that I kind of pop in there at the end, and it kind of pulls the whole thing together. On the right wall of what we're seeing right now, I was going to put a picture of a city skyline, so it looks like you're in a tall building, but I forgot to do that by the time that I did the actual ride through at the end, so it's not gonna have that. But it doesn't look terrible, it's just a wall, so I'll just fix that in the future, I guess. One other thing is that this whole build was done, I think the whole thing was done at night, and that was mostly just so I could actually see what was going on, and kind of, well, not see what's going on, but see the lighting, I should say. Obviously, it's kind of hard to see what's going on in the dark, but I wanted to get the lighting done, because this is supposed to be a dark ride, so the only way to really get the light gone in Planet Coaster is by getting rid of the light. Anyway, so I kind of sat here for a little bit, as it would seem, because I ended up realizing I didn't really have a whole lot of ideas for how this was going to go, and by the second floor, I'm already kind of stumped. But I decided to kind of throw together a cabin lodge in the woods and then have it being robbed, because capitalism, I don't know. It's robbery, I guess. I mean, I guess you can have robberies without capitalism, but this was just what I decided to do for this one. I was already scratching the bottom of the barrel, but I think this scene actually turned out really cool. So the whole thing. I replaced the floor with gingerbread to make it look like dirt, because it's the closest tile that you have to dirt, I think. So I think that worked pretty well. And then I threw bushes all around the edge. Unfortunately, they kind of stuck out the back, but I wasn't going to be too bothered by that. So yeah, and then I found like some trees. I was trying to find one that didn't poke through the ceiling that a stock market above. I couldn't find one really other than just that one type, so I just stuck it everywhere. But yeah, I put the star panels back up there. I get rid of the get rid of those pillars and stuff to kind of draw it all together. But the finished effect here is that the elevator door opens and it just looks like a dark room, or like a starry night with a cabin that's on fire. And I put some cars down here in a second. I think I'm doing that right now. There's a destroyed car that sits there, and then a box truck that's supposed to be like the robbers coming in and taking the stuff. And then there's a little sign I put down at some point that's like a lodge, basically, to say like this is just like a little lodge and it's being robbed, and that's the horrors of capitalism. My phone just buzzed. But yeah, so that's basically the entirety of this. And then there's a little sign on that says Robbery Incorporated, because I frankly wasn't sure how else to really indicate that this was a robbery. I mean, a box truck in front of a burning building doesn't really indicate a whole ton. So yeah. Anyway, back up to here, I realized that there's a lot of people that are sitting that I forgot to put chairs under, so I'm just tidying that up a bit. The whole thing's just a bit chaotic. I mean, it really is. And then I almost wrote Stonks there, but I changed it to Stock Co. And I thought, at this point, it's kind of hard not to see what it is. Alright, so this is the third scene, and I think this is the one that I did. Yeah, okay, this is a casino. I thought this was one of the more inspired ones, just because again, I'm trying to think of things that are like, more capitalist than anything else, things that are very focused on money. So I thought a casino was a pretty good option. So I made this little slot machine. It's not the most good looking slot machine, but I used this the snowman's pipe as the lever, and then I just line them up. I think it gets the job done well enough. It's definitely not going to win any design awards, but I think it does the job. And then I tried here to make like a little roulette table, and I was trying to kind of use that box there to poke through and make it look like the green on the table, but it didn't copy, and then it didn't look all that good. So I just made the wheel as best I could, and I think it's clear enough what it's supposed to be, especially once the signs go up that just say casino everywhere, and then yeah, I think it just kind of pulls it all together. As for this is the free car, because you can win a free car at this casino, and then jackpots for the slots, and get rich quick, because get rich quick schemes, right? Those are capitalist. I mean, the whole idea of wealth is kind of what I'm trying to, riff off of here. I mean, the target audience is in a Soviet theme park, so we're just trying to make it look as bad as possible to have money. I don't know. But yeah, so I changed up the casino a little bit. All of them have a little bit of modification once the back wall goes on, because it's just a slab of concrete. So I put some stars up there. The stocks market doesn't change a whole lot, and then the casino, I moved the signs that they're more clearly visible. So this build, I was starting to really run out of ideas, and I was starting to kind of get lazy. So I ended up chopping off half the room here and lowering the roof height, just so I didn't have to fully theme out this room. But yeah, so this is a pharmacy that charges $400 for an Advil and $90 for a bandage. So I feel like that would absolutely strike fear into this little Soviet park. Yeah, the builds kind of get less and less detailed and inspired as we go along. It starts off strong, and then I think it peaks with the cabin in the woods and the casino, and then it just goes downhill. Then I just get lazy. I just build a little pharmacy, and by this floor, I think this is the right floor. Yeah, this is floor 5. This was the laziest floor of them all. The entire idea for this floor was just a coming soon sign for a government construction service, and there's just a bunch of like announcement dates and like coming soon dates, and then they're just all stacked on top of each other, and each one's later than the other. It's just that idea that, you know, government construction just, it never finishes. And then after all of those delayed signs and stuff, there's just a big funding cut sign on top of it, and then just put a bunch of spiders and some rats and some cobwebs and stuff around just to make the place look really as abandoned as I possibly could. And unfortunately, when you're on the ride, you don't really have time to read it all, and it just kind of looks like it looks like the designer got really lazy and just didn't want to build that floor, which is not far from the truth. That's pretty much exactly what happened. And by the bottom floor, I was almost completely out of ideas for ways to portray the horrors of capitalism, and I just put a giant floor with snow that says "Welcome back," a bunch of flags, and then there's a little Sputnik in the corner because patriotism, I guess. I don't know, it was surprisingly difficult to actually come up with ideas on how to really make this ride stick with a coherent theme. So, yeah, I just kind of did the best I could. This series was never supposed to be a super serious series, but there's actually been a lot of detail that's gone on, especially with like that Mad Vlad's ride and the centerpiece in there. Like, a lot of it just looks surprisingly detailed considering how I was planning on starting this. But that's it for the time lapse. I have talked right over the end of the footage, so I'm just gonna finish this thought right now and jump back to the live footage. Well, this has been an absolute nightmare, but I think it's done now. I thought I was done a minute ago, and then I realized I didn't do any of the syncing for the doors, so that took like another half hour. And then I made a couple minor changes here and there, threw in some video footage in there that I wanted to have playing, so whew, this was a lot of work. And I'm not particularly sure it was worth it. Anyway, it's time for the grand opening of the ride, so let's go ahead and open her up. And let's hitch a ride with the first person to get on it. Come on, somebody? Anybody? Anybody want to get on the ride? All right, somebody's got to get on it eventually, right? Come on, look at this happy family. Balloons aren't allowed on the ride, just by the way. But otherwise, I encourage you to get on it. Nope, they're going to the gulag. But you, oh, you left the gulag and now you wanna. This is our re-education system. Out of the gulag, into the horrors of capitalism. Alright, now we gotta wait for that empty car to come back around. See, what you're hearing right now is what I heard for the last hour. That nonsense, non-stop. Okay, so I think that seat 4, row 1 is the best place to be. Gets you a nice good view of everything. Alright, it's filling up. Look at that. We got a nice, I don't know who I am, but we got a nice little crowd here. First 4 to ever ride this thing. Oh, they're gonna wonder what they've experienced. All right, I think we're ready to go. Hello. We didn't actually train our employees. She's actually just trying to figure out how to start the thing. Okay, good. She figured it out. Let's go on this ride. So, it's a lot different than the last time that I did a ride through on it. So we still got the fight scene over there. And then now there's lightning too, though. There's also that now. And now we go to our first scene. The stock market. The most horrible thing about capitalism. And then into a robbery in the woods because, you know, why not? I'm honestly already scraping the barrel for ideas here. Then you go to a casino. Because what's more capitalist than get rich quick schemes? Oh yeah, and then we're at a beautiful pharmacy where Advil and bandages are extremely overpriced. And then on to one of my favorites. It's simple, but Government projects coming 1820, 1840, 1910, 1945, 1994, and funding cut. I just feel like that's pretty realistic. And then, welcome back, comrade. And the ride's over. You've experienced the horrors of communism. Wait, horrors of capitalism. I said that wrong. Oh no, I'm going to the gulag. Anyway, that's the ride. I hope it was worth the wait for you guys. It was definitely something. On the bright side, now that that's done, I can go and work on some other place in the park and make the rest of it look a bit more developed, like this section. Because really, I mean, that's like a quarter of the park is developed so far. And then there's just this road off to the middle of a snow field, and just this roller coaster just stuck over here in the middle of nowhere. You know what? Let's go ahead and replace this with, no, not the stock market. That's not what we're propagating here. With the Cominturismo. There we go. That's much better. Wait, this is the Cominturismo 1000 experience, isn't it? Okay, yeah, wait, let's put this back. Okay, this one gets it, because this is the Mount Cominturismo ride. Yeah, okay, it's broken. But that's what you see now when you walk up to it. It's broken and there's just people chilling on it. Like, at the very least, they could get off, but they don't seem too bothered by it. They're just excited to be here. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is a very bright sign that you really can't see. Okay, now you can kind of see it. But yeah, that's our video for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one.